OpenAI CEO Sam Altman will testify before Congress for the first time tomorrow as lawmakers try to figure out just how to regulate the rapidly developing artificial intelligence industry. Ahead of his appearance before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee, Altman, whose company is behind the popular AI chatbot ChatGPT, will also speak to a bipartisan group of House members tonight. In their push for regulation, Washington hopes to get ahead of the AI arms race, something it's failed to do with other emerging technologies like social media. But their efforts are likely to encounter significant pushback from the industry. On the latest episode of Meet the Press Reports, exploring the potential and the pitfalls of AI, NBC technology correspondent Jacob Ward spoke to former Google CEO Eric Schmidt about who is best equipped to rein in AI.
I have to say, I don't hear a lot of guardrails around the industry in that. It really just, as I'm understanding it from you, comes down to what the industry decides for itself.
When this technology becomes more broadly available, which it will, and very quickly, the problems are going to get much worse. I would much rather have the current companies define reasonable boundaries.
It shouldn't be a regulatory framework. It maybe shouldn't even be a sort of a democratic vote. It should be the expertise within the industry helping sort that out.
The industry will first do that because there's no way a non-industry person can understand what is possible. It's just too new, too hard. There's not the expertise. There's no one in the government who can get it right. But the industry can roughly get it right, and then the government can put a regulatory structure around it.
And joining me now is NBC's Jake Ward with more of his reporting. Jake, that's a pretty blunt take from Eric Schmidt. I mean, does his attitude just show how uphill of a battle Congress faces right now? I'm up there all the time. These are not the most tech-savvy individuals, by and large.
Well, I think that's right, Garrett. I mean, we do have, of course, the historic example of Orrin Hatch, speaking to Mark Zuckerberg when he appeared on the Hill and asked him, Mr. Zuckerberg, how do you make money? And Zuckerberg said, well, Senator, we sell ads, and everyone in the room laughs, and those were bad days. I will argue that, in this report and in the reporting we've done over the years, Congress and legislators are becoming much more sophisticated about this stuff, not to mention regulators. I mean, you have Lena Khan, the FTC commissioner, coming out in an op-ed in the New York Times really saying we have the tools already to regulate AI and pointing at the fact that it's no coincidence that the same companies we are seeing rise to the very top of the power structure of AI are the ones that collected data on us all this time in this entirely unregulated environment through search and social media. That is Google, that's Microsoft, that's Meta. And so it seems here that we, I think, are better armed than we were in the regulatory arena, but certainly it is going to be an uphill battle.
I think you're totally right, and I can tell Congress has been trying desperately to get their arms around this issue, just as I talk to lawmakers up here. But I'm curious, I mean, you've been covering this story for years. Before this was an industry even, it was something you were watching. I'm curious, as you reported out this latest episode, what was your biggest takeaway? What did you learn about the future of AI that informed your reporting?
Well, for me, there are really two big takeaways. It's why I wrote a big book about AI called The Loop. And it's, I think the thing I'm going to be looking at in the future, which is there's this illusion that AI is this great leveling force and that it's available to absolutely everybody. But it turns out it's really dependent on the power of, the nation state-like power of these big companies to make it. And everybody's just borrowing that kind of AI from them. And the second one is the belief system of the people making this stuff, the people at the top of the companies that are at the top. People like Sam Altman, who we're going to see on the Hill tomorrow. These are folks who believe very broadly, at least they say, that they're really going to be handing society to a more advanced version of AI in the future. And that doesn't account for the, huge inequalities we have in society, the huge racism we have seen built into various systems of judgment in the past, and the ways in all of that may get gathered up by AI and carried forward. No one really has an answer for that. I'm hoping that senators speaking to Sam Altman tomorrow have some sort of line of questioning on that topic.
It's fascinating stuff, Jake. Thank you. And you can catch more of Jake's reporting and stream the entire episode of Meet the Press Reports, The Power of AI. It's on demand via Peacock or YouTube right now. Don't miss it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.